Hey y'all, welcome to my tunnel and welcome to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara if you're new here. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel. Today we are in the tunnel. We're still working on fall stuff, y'all. We got a lot of growing spaces, so it takes a minute when you're not doing this full time. But I'm so glad that you're here, and what we're doing today is I'm trying my best to plant out the rest of my seedlings in the open spaces. I am watering, I'm fertilizing, and then we're getting everything covered up and tucked in because we're supposed to be having our first frost in about 2 days. Our estimated first frost date is October the 19th for this area. So it's going to be just a few days shy of that. The temperature is supposed to get down to 35, 34 degrees. So it's not going to be below freezing, but the weatherman says it's supposed to be the first frost, so we're gonna see what happens. And so I'm trying to get this stuff in the ground and get everything good watering, which is what I do weekly. And then I have my son out here helping me. He's helping me get the stuff in the ground, so we're using his youth and his back to help us speed this process up. But if you're brand new here, we have a high tunnel that we grow in primarily in the fall. So all of our fall and winter food that we're growing is grown in this high tunnel. It is 30 by 96. We have 6 raised beds in here, and then we also have some items in ground. We have 5 rows that are 45 feet long. And we do have 2 additional growing spaces as well, but we use those primarily. We have an outside garden that we use for the summer and the summer only. And then I have raised beds behind my house where my garden first started. And we use that for our second succession of summer crops. And then we also will use it for our garlic in the fall. But all of the food that we are eating, consuming, preserving, storing for fall and winter is done right here. So if you've been watching my videos over the last month or so, you have seen us pretty much transform this space from summer to fall and winter. So we walked through and we got rid of all the summer crops and started planting our fall crops. We even showed you me starting the seeds for the fall. So I walked you through the whole process. Also, you've been able to see how well the garden is looking for the fall. I will also show you that today to give you another weekly update of how things are looking. And we do have stuff that is ready to harvest, but it's not going to be harvested on this video. We will probably do that after the frost and, you know, later on into the week. Now, it getting to 35 degrees, I'm not concerned at all about my stuff making it. Everything that we have out here outside of a container of jalapeno peppers is frost hardy or frost tolerant. I will probably close up the tunnel just to kind of combat, you know, wind. I've been leaving the tunnel open. It's been at the lowest, I think like 40 degrees, and things have been fine. They have been covered. And at 35 degrees, it would still be fine. So I'm not concerned at all. Now, I am putting new seedlings out. When I say new, meaning they have not been established in the ground. They've been in containers. But the seedlings are old, y'all. They are old. They are at least 6 weeks old. And some of them might be, I ain't gonna say 8 weeks old. Y'all have seen me. I've been up potting, just trying to prolong the time because I have had a very busy fall so far with traveling and work. And so I just have not had as much time to dedicate. So I just keep up potting, trying to preserve my seedlings. But I'm going to try to get them in the ground. Now, a part of me is like, do I want to do that? And it's right before the first frost. I don't know. Half a dozen in one, half a dozen another. I don't know that I've ever done it like right before I knew there was a frost, but they've been out here in 40-degree weather, 35 degrees. I think they're going to be okay. And like I said, we're going to get them in the ground, water them, and they're going to be covered. They should be fine. They should be fine. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give everything a good water. Another thing is, before you do have like a hard freeze, it is good that your plants are watered. There is some science behind that when you have your plants well hydrated, they are better to withstand frost when they are hydrated and they are not dry. Maybe I'll talk about that more when it's actually like a freeze or a frost. Now, some of you in different zones, you may already be experiencing frost and freezes and things like that. But in zone 7, we are still to the good. So I'm gonna grab the hose pipe. I'm gonna go ahead and start watering stuff, and then I'll take you in to let you see what we're planting and where. Also, I just remembered I need to take my lemon and lime trees in the house. They definitely, you can already tell, they do not like the cold. So I'm going to take those and put them in my sunroom. Now, I did try that 2 or 3 years ago, and it did not work. They died. I don't know what happened. I don't know why, because the sunroom usually stays, I would say, anywhere around 60. Okay, I don't know, Lexi saw something. Around 65 to 70 degrees. So I'm not sure, but we're going to try it again and see. Now, the other thing, when I had lemon and lime before, like I had them early in the summer, and I actually started to see flowers and lemon and limes, but on these, I've never seen that. They have not flowered or anything. I don't know why, but we're going to try it again. Also, I just harvested, I don't know, probably 20 jalapeno peppers from this plant that was in this container here. I'm getting rid of the jalapeno pepper plant because it's not going to survive in 35 degrees. But we'll go ahead and take these last few jalapenos it gave us. Now, some people have asked me, have I tried overwintering my peppers, or why don't I overwinter my peppers? So yes, I have tried to overwinter peppers once. That was, I think, maybe year 2. I tried to overwinter. It didn't work. And so I never tried again. And the reason why I'm not pressed about it is because I live in an area that has such a long growing season that it just doesn't matter to me. You know, I start my pepper seeds usually like in February or March. And so they're out here in April, and I have jalapenos and peppers probably by the first week of June. So it doesn't do much for me to have them overwintered and taking up space and all of that when I can just start them early. I start my seeds, and then I have a long growing season. So that's the reason why I don't overwinter. You can, but I just choose not to. Okay, let me show you a quick look at how the garden is looking this week. Things are looking really, really good. This is the bed with the Brussels sprouts and the bunch of onions. I'm deciding to go ahead and show you guys this stuff now because I'm going to go ahead and cover it. Y'all, is that not beautiful? If I must say so myself. Green cabbage on the left, red cabbage right there, and then 2 rows of beautiful lettuce. Like, even from last week to this week, you can see how well this bed has filled out, and this lettuce is ready to harvest. I see some, these almost look like nasturtiums or something trying to grow here. Yeah, that's like a, what is this? What is that? I don't know. It's something that doesn't belong. We'll get that out. But this is probably my favorite bed right now, just because it's full. Also, this is the bed here. Remember, we had to replant our cauliflower here on the right hand side. It's doing well, and this is the one that we planted at first, so it's coming along slowly but nicely. This bed here, I just pulled out the basil that was right there because the basil is not going to survive, and we have plenty of basil. And then the comfrey is doing its thing. It is large and in charge. And in this bed here, y'all, look at the sea of bok choy. Now, I'm telling y'all, these covers work. I came out here yesterday and took the covers off. This was not here. I left the covers off last night. And look, just in 24 hours. Do you see that? This is why it's going to be covered up right now, because the bugs are still out. But beautiful. This is our carrot bed and radishes. Our radishes are growing nicely, as well as our carrots. And then this bed here has really taken off and look and literally in just a week. If you watched my video last week, you can compare from last week to this week. We have our red butter lettuce, our red crisp lettuce, whatever these things are growing everywhere. What seeds are these? These are not beets, are they? Y'all, what are these? I can't remember. I've seen it before. But you gotta go. Then look at our kale and our cilantro and more butter lettuce. So these are looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and get these back covered up. Okay, so this is the row my son just planted. Remember, this is where our cucumbers were, the second succession, and then we pulled those out. And so in this row, he planted some green cabbage, red cabbage, and bok choy. I've never done bok choy in the ground, but that's the only space I have, so we're gonna see how it goes. And then back there you can see the kale. You can tell I have some insect damage, but some of it still looks good. This row here, you can see how that looks. Looking pretty good. This is the kale from the other side. That's that red boar kale. You can see how good that looks. My son is putting, we got 3 rows there that he's filling in. This row here is looking good. I took the cover off. You can see how this row is looking. Y'all, one of the things that I just realized, we were gonna put hoops and cover this row. The reason why I had not done this row is because we didn't have hoops or cover out. And that's the reason why those down there in the back had been eaten, because they hadn't been covered. And as we were getting the hoops, I realized we're not gonna be able to put hoops here until my husband removes the trellis. I did not think about that before we planted. So I think I'm gonna lay some cover on top of those. It's not ideal. You really don't want your cover touching the plants, but that's the best I can do for tonight. Daylight is actually about to catch us. We're gonna turn on the lights in the greenhouse, but we're still working. My son is over there putting in hoops. Back there on the back row, they didn't have hoops. We don't have any plants there. We're gonna go ahead and cover up this row, and then I'm gonna cover up that row down there that actually does have kale in it, and then we'll see what we can do about this. Hey y'all, it's the next day. I'm out in the tunnel, and for the most part, everything stayed covered except a few beds. So I'm going through and covering those, and the ones that didn't stay covered on the raised bed side is because I forgot to put some clamps on the other side. There's a lot of wind. Tonight is the first night that it's supposed to get down. It's supposed to get to 35 degrees. So I'm going through one final time and making sure that what we have covered is secure as I can possibly get it with the time that I have. And then I think I'm gonna at least put down the sides of the tunnel and close the back door. I'll probably leave the front door open. The high tomorrow is gonna be 59, so that's pretty cool. Now, if the sun is out, it'll easily get 90 degrees in here. So I wanna make sure there's some airflow in case it's a little bit later in the day before we come and open it up. But I'm just going around securing everything, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Y'all, I still have a whole tray that we didn't get out. These seedlings has been the hardest to get in the ground. We got a tray, yeah, let's see. Yeah, we got almost a whole tray in the ground, but we still have some left. But it's gonna have to be another day. The daylight is about to catch me. Got another flight in the morning. It's just that time of the year. It's crazy. I'm doing the best that I can with the time that I have. Worst case scenario, if I were to lose these seedlings, I have more seeds. I can grow more. I'm off to a good start. Praise the Lord. I can buy some transplants. So sometimes things are not ideal. You want to try to get it all in, but you can't. And I have a business. I'm a minister's wife. I'm doing gardening. I have 2 kids. And there's a whole bunch of other titles. But That's not to complain. That's just to humanize and let you know that, y'all, we're human. We can only get so much done in a day. And the last time I checked, we all have the same amount of time. So I am grateful. We got the most important things done. Everything is covered. Back door is closed. And I'm thinking now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down everything just to be on the safe side. I'm going to let the sides down and close the front door. And that's mainly because there's some animal that keeps getting here, I'm sure, that's eating my stuff. And he ain't getting in. She ain't getting in tonight. Not happening. Plus, it's going to be supposed to get 35. So they say it's a frost. But again, everything in here is frost hardy. So we should be to the good. But y'all, this is what it looks like when they say it's the first frost. Just trying to make sure everything is covered. Let me know if you've already had the first frost in your area. Let me know when it's anticipated and all the things. I hope your gardens are doing oh so well. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.